But if the news is correct, the big focus is going to be underneath the pipeline up there, or just downstream from the pipeline. Ooh, do we have a car right there? See that? Probably a Mazda Miata right there. That's probably what we're doing. We have a couple of car frames down here, I think.
The St. Landry Parish cold murder case has been solved after 6 years. Authorities say the suspect came forward and confessed to the crime.
Officials have been searching for days here at the Atchafalaya in hopes to find the remains of Dale Lafleur. Dale Lafleur has been missing since July 2011. Now, nearly 6 years later, Philip Lafleur has confessed to murdering his great-uncle, Dale Lafleur.
He took us to this location where he said he killed his great-uncle, buckled him in the seatbelt, and pushed his body into the river.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
It is not very often that my wife says, Jared, it's okay for you to work a foul play missing persons case. In the event of Dale Lafleur, we have a confessed murderer. We have the great-nephew of Dale, who says that in 2011, he beat his uncle to death because his uncle promised to give him some money. Dale did not give him any money, and as a result, Philip murdered him. 2016, we have Philip, and he's confessing to his uncle's murder after being arrested for another murder in the area. So Philip brings law enforcement out to the river here. Now this is where you did a little bit of a digging as to what is that location going to be that Philip brought them to the river, but they were unsuccessful in locating. So kind of bring us into that story.
Yeah, I dug a little bit last night and got into some stories and a couple videos. And it seems like Philip ended up murdering a man, and they didn't find his body for 2 years. And it's on the exact same side of the river, very close to where he then confessed to killing his uncle and pushing him into the river, really close, so same location. So I think that gives validity to the location where they were searching. He slipped a note after being convicted to a guard that said, hey, I killed my uncle, and he confessed to it. So they come out 2016, 2017 and investigate. He gets out of prison and gets a boat ride down here to show him where he put his uncle in the river. Now, did he show him the right location, or did he want some fresh air for 4 years? After being incarcerated for 4 years, we don't know. The law enforcement here honed in on something that seemed like it was a car, but it was buried underneath 3 to 4 feet of silt, and they dove on it for 3 to 4 days without finding any remains, and it's unclear if they actually got evidence that it was his Mazda Miata. So a little convertible car is what we're looking for. Then we're at breakfast this morning. We met some really neat people, some fans, Becky and Derek, and they ended up following us out to the boat ramp. They said, you guys might be in the wrong location, because there's 2 pipelines that come across this waterway. So, but I was looking at the video from 2017, and I noticed that the pipe was blue. So I was telling Derek and Becky this, and they said, yeah, no, the blue one is 5 miles downriver. If you put in here, you're gonna have to float 5 miles downriver, and there's a hidden boat ramp at that location that's really hard to see from satellite.
One good report that we have, just to give you a little more detail from Daily World. It has headline, inmate confesses to killing a man missing since 2011. Philip Lafleur said he buckled the victim into the passenger seat of the victim's car and drove it into the Atchafalaya River, crossing from Krotz Springs. So this is where we're at the boat ramp here in town. Yep. Philip Lafleur is incarcerated for the 2016 murder of Eunice resident Akeem Ceasar. The investigation led to the arrest of Philip Lafleur and Candace Vadrine. Okay, so here's the thing. I always wondered why, if we're dealing with Dell that was in Port Bar.
Exactly.
Okay, that's 12 miles away, just a straight shot to the river right here.
Yeah.
But now they're down another 5 miles, so that kind of takes it like 18 miles. But
Yeah.
he has an accomplice, so I wonder if the accomplice was also part of Dell, because, you know, how's he going to get he got the vehicle over here, but that's a long ways to walk back, 18 miles.
Yes, it
so he
is.
had somebody pick him up. So I wonder if Candace is also incarcerated for both of these or just the one. So then in May of 2017, Dell's 23-year-old grandnephew Philip confesses to his great uncle's murder. Philip stated he had beaten Dell to death because Dell had promised to give him some money and he hadn't done so. Now, Philip stated that he buckled his great uncle's body into the passenger seat of Dell's Mazda and drove it into the Atchafalaya River across from Krotz Springs. Philip was indicted for his uncle's murder. In November, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter in Dell's case and second-degree murder in the Ceasar's death. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison for his uncle's case and life without parole for the other murder. Dell's body has never been found. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance due to the circumstances involved. And this is where, in a very rare circumstance, my wife has now given me permission, because Philip, right here, has confessed to it. He has owned it. We can now come in and finish solving this case as to the location of Dell and bring him home for his family, so that way they can have a proper memorial and lay him to the rest. So with any luck today, we're going to be able to find him, bring the answers, and bring him home. So let's get down the river, see if we can find this location, put the boats in, and do what we need to do today.
All right, so Derek and Becky said, go over the levee, take a left. We're gonna go about 3.5 miles or less. He says there's a pretty big rise. Don't go over the rise. Take a left right before it. We'll get back up and over the levee. And there's a campground there with a boat ramp.
If you was to cross over that hump and go down a little bit further south, you can actually see where that high line crosses the road. It's 2.65 miles from that campground to the high line south.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate your help.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Okay,
bye.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's just go get eyes on it. Got some good intel. Real good intel. Now, he sent a pin on where it's at, and it is across from Opelastus St. Laundry. All right, he said it's a big hump. Don't go over the hump. It's about 2.7 miles. That's it. Probably right there. There's the hump. So that's the boat ramp he's talking about.
That you can absolutely put a car in there. All right, well, let's go take a look at what we got here. Like, we don't even know if this is the right spot. That's the biggest issue we have at this moment in time. Yeah, you're not getting a car here as far as dumping it in the river. So we have a nice, clean, long shot private boat ramp over here under the power lines. But in the news thing, it clearly showed a pipeline. It seemed like where they were searching was where the pipeline was at. But according to the local source, it was this boat ramp is where he pin dropped us to. But the blue pipeline where they were searching at in the news report, the only blue pipeline I know of is just north of the I-10 bridge down here.
Yeah, and he admitted on the phone too. He goes, man, distances and boats are hard to come by. So we're just gonna keep going down till we find it?
No, I mean, this one makes sense. I mean, we're here, let's scan this one.
Okay.
And then we can jump down to the next one as well. Yeah, right now, based upon the boat ramp that we were at, I just got done looking at the map, based upon the first boat ramp we were at, crossing over, this is the first boat ramp to the south on this side of the river. So right now we're consistent with them saying it was on this side of the Atchafalaya River. Well, let's go check it out, huh?
Let's go for a river cruise. We're topped off.
Nice 10 to 12 feet deep. We'll go upriver just a little bit here, and then we'll scan it down. And clean up the water column there. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Go there, come down here, water column sensitivity. There we go. Cleans up the water column.
Oh, makes it black.
Yep. Gets rid of that noise.
Yeah.
I'll take it to one and see if that cleans it up too. All right, let's go check it out. Best case scenario, Miata on its wheels.
Hey, with it being a convertible, does it change the dynamics at all, do you think?
It won't show as much height, but then it also changes that top is going to get ripped off a lot easier than a metal top, which then gives, it'll be, if it's on its wheels, then Dale would have a greater chance of coming out of the vehicle as well. And I wouldn't think it'd be any further down than this, especially with it being a Miata.
Yeah.
There's not much cabin space to trap air, especially with it being a convertible. No, but no, I don't think that's it. Let's circle back over that though. Right, we're coming up on it. So that is, see the length of that?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
So that's almost 20 feet long, 18 feet long. Looks like a boat that's upside down. See how smooth it was?
Mm-hmm.
And Miata's only what, like 12 feet in length?
I think so.
If even that.
If even that, yeah.
Right there on the left. See that right there? We want to focus in on that.
Oh, I kind of see a structure of an upside down car, possibly.
Yep.
About the right length. Looks like 4 tires sticking up.
Yeah, possibly. So we'll go put eyes on it.
It'll be on the right side now, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we move closer to shore. Now we're only in 7 feet of water, but it's getting right where it starts coming up. Yeah, so that's what we were interested in, but this angle looks like it's a tree. You can see the branches on it. There, so there's that boat object again on the left. All right, it's not gonna be down any further than this, in my opinion. Yeah, nothing here at this location.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to find that pipeline.
Yeah, let's go find that.
All right, well, let's take us down to the next boat ramp down the way a little bit, to the Whiskey Bay boat launch area. Let's check that one. 5 miles down the road.
Definitely not a short day.
Yeah. I wonder what makes somebody, is it just the guilt? All right, I already know I'm going away for life. I might as well just get this guilt off of my chest now. I don't know what the thought process is at that moment in time.
I don't either. Guilt can be a dragon, man. And I mean, that's the whole point of prison, right? Is to reform. He was only in there a short period of time before confessing to it. But either way, I mean, that's what the prison system is supposed to be doing is reforming, right? And there's great success stories out there of it. And so maybe he was working on him and needed to get it off his chest. Good.
Still not seeing the pipeline.
Not the blue one. We know where the white one is. Did not have, in the video, there was a clear road right down to there. So.
Well, that's what you have up on the levee, on the one that we were heading to north of town. It's just, it was all no trespassing private property.
Yeah.
We have a couple of car frames down here, I think. Not quite sure, but right there. We have 3 cars down here, I believe, Byron. All together. Maybe Philip has taken care of more people than we thought. chocolate milk. Visibility is going to be this.
Said you got 2 cars?
Not quite sure. Double checking through here. Could just be the way that layers in here. I thought potentially there might have been 3 frames in here, but I gotta come back over it and see. Seems like they were right about here, coming up to them here. But I'm not getting any height. All right, there. What is that? See that? All right, give me something. Can't quite tell. I'm not getting any wheels on it. See, we have one object that we just went over. We're getting a height on it. See this right here? But that appears to be more of a SUV or something, if it is, or just a rock structure. So we're trying to figure out the height of it. Right here. We're right over the top of it right there. So look at it right there. It's a truck on its side, it looks like. See that? Does that look like a truck to you? Yeah, right there it is. To me that looks like a truck. See, it's over 18 feet long, it's 20 feet long. It's on its side, there's the mirror. There's the front of it, so that is not our vehicle. Way too big for a Miata. So I'm not diving on that one. All right, so let's go find another vehicle. So let's do some runs straight towards shore, in and out, kind of 45s if we can. Okay, so right there on the left, see that? Possibly right here. That's what I want to focus in on next. I'm gonna try a different setting today. One that I don't try too often. So what I'm looking at is this right here, in my opinion, is the truck that we know about. You can see all the fish cover around it. So I'm looking for something else that's sticking up, that's gonna have a lot of cover, fish cover. And so I'm dealing with this drop off. So I'm gonna be on the upper side of the drop off, right about the 18-foot mark. And I wanna see if I can pick up on something else that's sticking up off the bottom. A nice big red mark. And this one, because it's strictly a down, we're gonna tighten up our patterns as we come across. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, just one pickup truck, Byron.
One pickup truck.
One pickup truck.
Well, that ain't a Miata.
Yeah, not a Miata.
It's gonna continue down.
Continue down.
Down the road?
Yeah, because we're way too far south of Krotz Springs now.
Unless there's no other incorporated town on the way down, and that's the only way the news could report on like where it was. I'm just saying there's 3 of them, right? There's the one up in Melville, there's one in Krotz, and then there's the one south of the 10. So there's 3 of them in this area. I'm just saying, let's just say you got to be out of your mind to kill someone. Number 1, you got to be really out of your mind getting rid of someone. What can you remember? That it's a pipeline, probably. So could it be one of those 3? Sure. So we have 3 pipelines to go investigate.
All right, yeah, we're gonna scan this ramp first just to verify it.
Okay.
Super clean, perfect depth. But yeah, you can see it just barely from here. It's gonna be past the train bridge up up on the other side. It's way up there. We have extra gas. And the car is not right here. All right, well, let's just fire it up and go for a boat ride, huh? Circle back here real quick. There's a couple potential locations. So where the sheriff dive team was at, or the state team, was right at that bridge. But as we're looking on our map here, there are a couple of potential locations. As he comes, if Philip comes across the bridge right here out of Krotz, makes a left on Levy Road, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 potential locations right here into the river. And while he took them directly to the pipeline, I just want to make sure that we clear all of them on this side. And we were told that it was on the other side of Krotz, across the Atchafalaya River. Then if you look over here, we have another potential entry over there. There's another one before the pipeline. There's one at the pipeline, and there's another one just upstream from the pipeline. So we want to make sure that we cover this entire area. If you look right here, this is the first one where you could potentially just put a brick on the gas pedal. And remember, Dell was in the passenger seat. And so if he came off of this one, he's gonna be in this little hole right here, no further down than where this tree is starting to fall in the river here. And you can see there's a little back eddy in here. And that back eddy is gonna keep the Miata right in this area. So let's go ahead and drop sonar, and we're gonna run everything up past the pipeline now. A little dress. We got the tree on the far left at the 54-foot mark on the side imaging. A little shelf there. Nothing big, nothing to worry about. We'll go double check that shelf though, just to make sure. After we're done scanning the little cove in the eddy area here. All right, nothing off of there. So we'll catch the far edge of it just to the right a little bit. And what we're particularly looking at here is in way of sonar and the way that we triangulate these. Little sonar overview for you if you've not been here before. We're going to be using the live scope. This is made by Garmin. It's going to show us anything that's happening in real time. As a fish swims by, you're going to see the fish swim by. The Hummingbird is more of a picture in time. So we can scroll back and we see, all right, we went over an area, did we miss anything? And we can pinpoint it and zoom in on it. Now the bottom one is our side imaging. For my personal preference, I like to cast 75 feet to the left and 75 feet to the right. Anything that you see in black is my water column from the icon of the boat. We're heading this direction. And from the black to the gold is from the boat to the bottom of the river or the lake or whatever we're in. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see that roughly, 54 feet out on my right, we have a great big tree. Here's the root of it right here. And here is the top of the tree. So we're able to then say, all right, it's 54 feet over there, and then I can go and I can position myself right over the top of it, and then I'm gonna see the height of it on my down imaging, which is this top screen, or I'll be able to see it on my live scope as well. So that's kind of how I first identify something on side imaging first, and then I'll move over closer to it. All right, so here is another section right here. I think the distance on this one is a little too far. It looks like they've dumped some rocks in here, but you can see that on sonar. No vehicle at the moment. It gets a little deeper. You can see the shadow, how it drops off on the side over here. So we'll scan out a little bit further. Make sure there's no vehicle in the deeper part of this cove. See how it drops off right there on the live, dropping down on down and side. All right, so location 2 at the cove is clear. But if the news is correct, the big focus is going to be underneath the pipeline up there, or just downstream from the pipeline. But I believe that coming up through all this right here, is in play for us. Okay, so something big right there. We're gonna go back over that. I don't think it was big enough. But again, we're looking for a Miata. Had a little bit of height to it. Right there. I think we're just dealing with like a little bunch of these trees through here like this. I'll hit it at like a 45 and then a 90. See it right here. Doesn't look big enough, but like I said, it's a little Miata that we're looking for. Yeah, that doesn't appear once we go across it that direction. It looks more like a big tree root, like what we're picking up on live there. Yeah, I feel like it's too skinny. Like it's only like 3 by 3 when you look at it in the grid there. All right, so let's go down river just barely, and we'll come up right next to it on this side and scan it, make sure there's nothing tangled up in it. Yeah, just a tree on side imaging there. Let's go double check this one right here. That's just upstream from that tree. It's underwater. I'll come in a little bit closer to it. Oh yeah, like the tree stumps under here where they just lopped them right off. Here, let me get closer to it again. I don't think it's big enough. In fact, that's what it is. I'm picking that up. Nothing there. It's not the nicest road either. I mean, if I was gonna pick a spot, it'd be this spot over here, across the way, on the other side, where that goes right into the water. Or the boat ramp that we were at this morning, that we launched from. Like here, you just have way too, especially for a Miata, like you just have way too much terrain to get off of that, in my opinion. We have some debris to the far right, but it's more just tree limbs and stuff. But we'll head back out there further and scan that. But I don't sense that a Miata is going to go that far out. And there's just way too much of the same out there. Like that's just not smooth to get a car in there. Or a truck. Alright, I want to scan that other side. If we don't find anything over there, then I'll come back and I'll double check this entire run down through here, back towards the bridge. Ooh, do we have a car right there? See that? Let's go back over there. I don't know, could be a car. I'll hit it at a few different angles here. Well, be this far out with it. No, that is not it. See, that's all very consistent. Okay, it'll make more sense as we come up here. Right there, you can see like the bank and how they have a bunch of that underwater there. A lot of them give square shapes, like it could be a vehicle. Just kind of all over in there. All right, something sticking up there. Well, that's the pipeline coming up. You can see it goes all the way across on the right-hand side. And there's something right here. Same thing, another pipeline or something. Old pipeline. Now, if it came off of that ramp, then this is where I'm going to expect it in the next 100 feet or so. On the way up to that ramp there. How about that right there? Is that a car? Or is it just the way it's laying? Let's go back over it. There's just all this concrete stuff that's down there. Right there. Yeah, it's just all the same concrete. I mean, he said the other side. They were searching the other side. All right, let's run this down a little bit more on this side, and then we'll head back to the other side, double check some of those potential logs. And if we don't find it, we're not the first ones that failed in finding them. Yeah, I mean, if the car had gone in at either one of those locations and sunk there, and it has that big pipe coming up, it'd be hung up on there for all these years. So I don't feel like it's on this side. On the other side, I didn't notice a big pipe like that, which was, I won't say it's weird, it's just that there's one on this side, not the other side. Yeah, sneak into this cove just a little bit, nice and slow, and kind of weave around the logs this way. See if I can pick up anything different. Whoop, whoop. Oh, cut that one. It's probably a Mazda Miata right there. That's probably what we're doing. So let's just go very gentle through here. That's 5 feet deep, 4.5. Yeah, just a tree. No car. The biggest thing I'm just having a hard time with is just getting a car through there, a Miata through there. That's the biggest thing I'm having a hard time accepting. You know, why would you admit and confess to it in an area right there if it was not? Would there be a reason to lie about the location that it was? To the best of my knowledge, I mean, the news was showing the Google map of this area, and then we also drove past there and it showed the front of it, and we saw on Google Earth where the news reporter was standing in front of it. I don't know. We'll put the news information out there. Maybe one of you know. Where did Philip say that he put Dell in the river? Or was it just a ploy for him to get out for a day to go enjoy a boat ride on the river? I don't know. The biggest thing that I'm having a hard time with is that he was over 12 miles in Port Bar to the west from here. In my mind, if you're going to kill somebody, you're not going to walk 12 miles back. So then does he have an accomplice, or in one of the bayous closer to Port Bar, is Dell instead over there in his Miata closer to home? Do we need to focus on that for our next search? I don't know. Leave a comment. I say we're gonna wrap this one up for now, and then let's go work the case in Biloxi, Mississippi.